Hey there. Happy New Year to everybody. If you already follow us, you know that we do monthly market updates here at 5Market Realty. One that we focus on the Athens area. That's what we're doing today. It's January 2nd. Later in the month, we do one that's more of a national perspective that kind of focuses on things that are mortgage rates and things that are trending in the industry. But if you have an interest in Athens area real estate, want to stay up to date on new listings, what's going on in our market, Watkinsville area, surrounding counties around Athens, be sure to click subscribe. And then we'll get started here for our January 2023 update, which is really looking back at the whole of 2022, to be honest with you. It's January 2nd. Go Dogs. I'm doing the video today to go out tomorrow. Very excited for our Georgia Bulldogs who won the Ohio State matchup and are going to the national championship. Not real estate related, but we do have a prediction contest. I have no idea who won. I'll look into that a little later, and we'll get that video out to you later in the week. But right now, we're actually going to talk about our job, which is real estate. Folks, 2022 saw a lot less sales activity, and we want to talk a little bit about what could change and really what has changed in our market since COVID happened. So let's get to the first slide. As you know, we like to track things back 3 years. We look at the amount of total new listings, the days on market. We look at the average sold price and the total amount of homes sold. We're using the Athens MLS as our resource here, not the Georgia MLS and the Athens MLS, or not just the Georgia MLS. So I know to some of you that don't know what that means, that's a multiple listing service, and that's where a lot of this data is pulled. So we're not going to include a for sale by owner or something that didn't get posted in here, but it is by far our most accurate way to track things, and it helps us understand the market going forward. So let's take a look at what we saw last 2 years. You can see a lot of new listings, over 2,500 in both years. You saw the sales price tick up 300, 347, and over 2,000 home sales. Very healthy, robust, I should say, real estate markets. But then let's look at what's happened in 2022. And this is where things are not good news because there's so much less going on. Amount of listings down from 2,500 plus to 2,085. That's almost 20% down. Days on market, month to month is actually trending up, but it was still down about 10% over the year. And then the average sold price basically did stay around 418, showing that we were up about 17%. Remember, that's a rollback from at one point we were up 25% year over year. So that's that, what have I been talking about? 7, 8, 9, 10% rollback that we've seen on some of the height of the real estate market. And then down here, the amount of total homes sold down almost 30% at 1,700 homes sold in 2022, at least as of January 2nd. We saw record low sale prices. There were sale numbers, not price, numbers in December. So let me get back to that. Now we're just looking at the month of December, right? So you can see in 2020, 2021, 119, which was actually pretty low, 140. I went back and checked this, and we saw like 177 sales in 2018. So to be into the hundreds for the month of December is what we expect to see. Total homes sold, we saw 173, 183, days on market, price. Let's see what happened in this December. So total new listings, down from 120, 119 to 76. That's down 36%. Days on market is up 26.6%, almost back to pre-pandemic numbers when we're looking at about 2 months on market. Average sold price over the month, it was up about 10%. So that's comparing to the month of December last year. If you remember, later on, we'll talk about how in November and October, we saw where the home prices were not higher than they were in the same month. This is the big one, the total homes sold. Down over 60% in the month of December, from 183 home sales to 73. That's what I was talking about, how low the numbers are. So we're not really seeing a home price problem. We're seeing a transaction problem, right? And with those transactions, you can talk about a recession. I don't know about other areas of the economy. I really don't even understand other real estate markets except our own. What I do know is this industry is contracting because there's less going on. That means less homes, less transactions. And while we should see less in December, it's all related to interest rates. Interest rates have spooked too many people. They made people get out of the market. The good news coming, though, is we're starting to see the phone ring for buyers in 2023. And I do believe people will be entering a market that's more balanced, and we're going to have a little bit less competition over one house. This is the graphs that sort of just visualize what we're talking about here. As you can see, this is the new listings in red, and then gray, we have the sold year to date last 3 years, 18% down and 28% down. So while the numbers don't look that drastic, those are the actual numbers, 28% down overall, and we were only 26 last month. Now, new listings and homes sold for the month of December last 3 years. I mean, we just talked about being down 60% from 2021 down here. Well, from 2020, we're down 58%. So whatever year you pick, this month of December was extremely kind of like the weather, a little bleak and a little cold. So we're going to see what happens with that as we now get into 2023. How are we going to see any activity change from there? Keep going here. This is one of the problems we still have is listings. While our amount of properties on market is maintaining over 200, we're not getting a lot of new listings. And folks, these graphs, these last two, I had to actually lower the bar. We were not at 60. So the numbers are so low, I had to actually change the axis area and the format of the graph just to fit on how far below we are tracking even on new listings. And that's sort of why it's good news for home prices, because we haven't seen a huge change in supply. It's still very low at the moment. Now, active homes for sale actually took a dip this month. As you know, we went over this last month and we started to see a trend around that 240 number. And then up here, we got almost to 250. But over the month of December, we saw some things go off the market, some things get absorbed. And I think a lot of people just preparing for the holidays, there was less to come to market. And that way, it just sort of flattened it out. I think we're going to see that number tick back up. And remember, we tell you that, if you look at the inventory of homes, needing to be over 200 is good, but a monthly inventory of homes, how many months of inventory? We're going to get that in a second. Total home sales, monthly totals, as you can see, we're just going off a cliff here. All of this very much interest rate driven because it's a volatile market. And when people have a little hesitation because they are trying to time the market, it's not a good plan, but that's definitely what we're seeing. We hope to see that change in 2023. Months of inventory, this was the big one. So if you remember, we almost got to 4 months, and 6 months is what we get a balanced market. But it kind of flattened off in December. And just with the rate of what we saw between the amount of sales and the amount of new listings both being down, there really wasn't much change. The hope is to get through January, we start seeing more inventory, and we start seeing more buyers in the market. Monthly average home sale price, as you can see, we went back and, we did this and pointed out in October and November with this graph that this is comparing the monthly home sale price in Clark and Oconee County in the same month the year before. Well, historically, it had always been up and it had always been more, except for these 2 months, which is where we saw the market really soften. October, November, interest rates went up at the highest rate we've ever seen, and that's really when this started to happen. But now in December, we kind of went back to form. And one of the reasons for that is we had more higher end home sales in the month of December. There were some sales over $1 million that we had a few more of those that we did not see previously. So that helped raise that monthly average home sale price. On the other hand, most of the sales are happening below $500,000 and $400,000. So that's what we're seeing in the market. This is one last slide I wanted to end on. This is what's changed in our market over the last 2 years drastically. Look here at the top, you've got number of home sales over 700,000, and then the gray being over $1 million. Being in this real estate market since 2004, $1 million's a big number. And it's feeling so different now because we see so many more homes that have sold in that range. From 2017, over 700,000 to 999,000, we had about 27 home sales total. I think it was about 6 that were over $1 million. Flash forward to today in 2022, look at how big this increase is. Gone up almost 78% on homes that are selling over 700,000, 87% increase from 2017 in homes that are over $1 million. So our real estate market looks completely different. From 2017, it feels so much different than what's in the market. However, one thing I will note is the number of these sales, while they have gone up overall, they still represent a very small percentage of the real estate market. So this is what's going to be interesting to see in our market as we head into next year. If interest rates stay over 5%, do these $1 million homes continue to sell because those people have the wherewithal and the cash? Or are we going to see more sales at a lower price point simply because less transactions will be happening over $1 million? This was just a very interesting thing to see. That's how much the Athens and Oconee real estate market has changed, especially in home price. We'll end these videos telling you to reach out to us for the group 5Market Realty, info at 5M Realty. We got people that we've already had buyers reach out for next year. So while it's just January 2nd, somebody's planning to move in June. We're actually already talking to them. They're talking to a lender, trying to get things right. Let's say the rates do drop at some point. You might want to be positioned to lock yourself in. This is our group, info at 5M Realty, 706-850-4636. Be sure to reach out. And of course, you can click subscribe on our YouTube channel to follow all our videos. Have a great new year and go Dogs for next week.